Well, hello everybody. Today we are here to talk about Voltic Electronic Devices, which might be the coolest fuzz company you may have never heard of. And to tell us a little bit more about them and their story, Savannah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about these. I had the pleasure of talking to John Anthony, the founder, who actually still hand builds, hand inspects, and even signs each of these pedals. John Anthony's super cool. Out of Delaware, he actually played in the band for the Armed Forces, which I think is really awesome. I love the branding of these. They're sort of retro, but super classic, which is kind of my speed. But there's more than meets the eye. They look nice, but there's some really cool stuff in these pedals. I'm gonna let Dave tell you about them.
Underneath the hood, if you will, all of these are hand soldered by John Anthony himself. And I will take one apart here later, or maybe I'll just put it on the screen now and show you just sort of what is going on inside and the craftsmanship. Because when you talk about hand wired, these are about as hand wired as you can possibly get, which is becoming more of a rarity. Even your smallest boutique pedal builders now are going to surface mounted components, standard circuit boards that are being outsourced to other manufacturers. None of that here. Every single one of these Voltic devices is hand wired by John Anthony himself, which again, like being a former member of the Armed Services.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, John Anthony. I just think is amazing. And his story is great. As a human being, I have loved getting to know him as well.
Yeah, and a human being that can design, hand assemble, play, and teach you how to play all of this, especially coming out of Delaware. I don't know, it's pretty cool. Yeah. We haven't seen anything like this in a while.
We don't have a lot of these, right?
No, we don't. This is actually our newest partner. So we have a limited inventory. If you are a member, please test these out. Put them on your borrow list. We're prioritizing them. Don't tell anyone. We want you to try this. Get your hands on it. You will be pleasantly surprised the same way that we were. If you're not a member, you can also buy them from us. So,
absolutely. And if you're not familiar with us, through our system, you can borrow anything in our inventory for as little as $19 a month. If you love it, you can buy it at a discount with your earned rewards points. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on is working with a lot of smaller independent manufacturers to help get their pedals in more people's hands. Because a lot of people don't have a place to go try these out. You're not going to find a lot of retailers with Voltic. So we try to help. And just so everyone knows, we actually share most of the revenue back with those independent providers. So, when you support us and you borrow these pedals, you are also supporting people like John Anthony.
Without contributing to what I've heard is a common problem of pedal graveyards sitting in your home.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to add to the graveyard. Try it. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, doesn't matter. Try it as long as you want to. We are the only place that you can do that. Proud to say.
Absolutely. So now that the shameless plug is done, let's plug these up and get into some very cool tones.
Let's do it.
All right, so up first, we're gonna dive into the Awkward Mustache. And this might have been my favorite out of the whole lineup. It's hard to pick favorites because they're all good. But to recap, this is an op-amp fuzz, and it is definitely inspired from the old Big Muff that Billy Corgan made famous in the Smashing Pumpkins in recording Siamese Dream. But there are a couple of major differences, and we'll go through these as we play. Number one, it does not have the massive mid scoop like a typical Big Muff does. In fact, the way that this tone control is acting really reminds me something more of almost like a Klon, if that makes sense. I mean, it's more about kind of the upper mid focus here with the tone control. You can also turn the tone control off with the defeat switch. And another thing that makes it unique is that there is a super switch on the back that allows you to put two perfectly matched germanium diodes after the clipping section to give you a little bit of extra compression. Actually, it's a lot of extra compression. You'll notice that the volume dies down when I try this out in a minute. But it also rolls the highs and the lows off a little bit, kind of warms things up and makes it sound, I don't know, just different, a little more mellow. I'm also gonna show you how you can go from everything from edge of breakup, almost clean, all the way to full on, totally out of control fuzz, which is something I've found consistent about the entire Voltic product line, is that I don't know that I've ever played fuzz pedals that could be as as refined and as tame, if you will, when you're using lower gain settings. So let's start out. I'm actually going to do that. I'll pull the gain down maybe to like 1, just to kind of give you an idea of what this thing will sound like, sort of almost like a clean sort of edge of breakup kind of sound. So I'll bring the volume up a little bit here. And as you can see, there is a ton of volume range. I'm barely above noon there, and it's already like overloading my preamp over here on my interface. So tons and tons of clean headroom in this thing. And again, that's on like volume 1, so, or excuse me, gain at like 1. So let's bring it up a little bit more. So you can see that range that kind of happens anywhere just between like 1 and 3 on the gain knob. So really interesting and versatile, you know, kind of edge of breakup stuff that you're not going to get with a traditional type of fuzz pedal. I love that. Great sound. I've got the, again, tone set a little bit above noon here. So let's go ahead and have fun. This is a fuzz pedal after all. So I'm going to turn it up a little bit above noon, bring my volume down to compensate, and let's see if we can kind of get some of those Siamese Dream tones out of this. Pretty close. I'd say we probably need to go a little bit higher on the gain and bring the tone up just a hair to give us a little more edge. And let's see what we've got here. Tons of sustain. God, that sounds good, man. And in fact, I don't know that I might like this even better than the traditional kind of big muff, just because the mids are back there, like in a way that a big muff pedal is not. So let's also try the tone defeat. First of all, I'll go through the whole tone range here, just kind of let you hear what the sweep looks like. Then we'll turn it off with the defeat function, and you can kind of hear the differences. So it's pretty dark, not totally lost and muddy, but definitely dark. Definitely edgy at the top of the control. But if you hear again, and I know I sound kind of crazy, but it's almost kind of clawing-ish in the frequency sweep. John Anthony can tell us, maybe he'll put something in the comments, maybe I'm an idiot. But again, it's more of that sort of mid-range brightness that I'm seeing happening with the tone control rather than more like a traditional big muff. I think that's cool because I've never, as much as I love big muffs, I've never loved that big scoop in the mids for all things with a big muff. So now let's try to turn it off. So I'm gonna go, I tell you what, to give you a more accurate perspective, I'll kind of come back up here maybe to 1 o'clock. I'll play it with the tone control on and then I'll turn it off. You can hear the differences. Not a huge change there, but certainly if I go back and forth between like tone up, tone off. Not bad. I think it's kind of cool just to have the option there between the two. Personally, I'd have it on most of the time and probably leave it somewhere around the, 11 to 1 o'clock kind of range is where I found it to be the most usable. Last feature that we will check out before we move on to the next pedal is the super switch. So I'm just going to show you here again, like volume with it off, which is traditional op amp fuzz. I'm going to turn it on. You know, it's pretty notable volume drop. Highs rolled off a bit, lows rolled off a bit. And again, we're adding germanium diodes, a custom matched, if you will, pair of germanium diodes after the clipping circuit. So to compensate, I'm going to bring the volume back up here. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and crank the gain a little more. Now I'm noticing something here, and I know that John Anthony wrote this up in the description. When the gain comes up, it definitely changes the tone, and I'm hearing here some harmonics and artifacts kind of coming out. So let's just max the gain out and see what happens. Well, definitely gets unruly as you get the gain up. And I think it's fun. I think it would be cool to have that as an extra option. I can't say that I would play with that setting on most of the time. I like this pedal basically, even if it didn't have any switches, I would still think this is probably one of the most fun fuzz pedals I've played in a long time. Being op amp based, having the different tone control set up than a Big Muff. I love this one, might be my favorite pick, but let's go on to the next. All right, so next up we have the Voltic DTF, or Down to Fuzz. No, that's not it at all, actually. It's the dual transistor fuzz, and this one you're gonna have a lot of fun with if you're like me. Man, this thing is just great. You take it even out of the fuzz category, because anything less than about noon on the gain control, I mean, it's almost like, almost like a MXR distortion plus, or even like a clean boost at the bottom. This is so versatile to be a fuzz pedal. So I'm actually going to start out, much like I did with the Awkward Mustache, with the gain really low, just to let you hear kind of what the sounds are like there. And I'll experiment, with the different diode settings here. I'm just going to be full disclosure, I like it without any diodes, just the way it is, the transistors, but I will show you those different settings. So we'll start out really clean, and then we'll work up from there. This is going to blow you away. Here we go. Like, just a reminder, I'm playing a fuzz pedal, okay? And even with the gain down here, this is just like a beautiful clean boost. I mean, it's like, just to give you the idea of the difference between that and my totally clean tone. So you can hear the dynamics of what comes out as you start to dig in with your hands. It's a lot of fun. So let's bring the volume up, or excuse me, the gain up a little bit more. Lot of fun. Man, that's so cool. And if we go to the treble booster mode, let's just flip that switch. Definitely gets thin. I'm not running my amp overdriven, but if I was, could be a good option to sort of tighten things up on the low end and just get more of a boosted treble tone. So now let's start to sweep through the gain range. I'm gonna get it up to about halfway, which is where the fun really starts to happen. We can kind of see how that progresses. So you can hear here the character of this is different than the Awkward Mustache. This one's a little bit more kind of bolder, punchier. There's more to the attack. It really reacts a lot more under the fingers, especially if you're kind of playing lead line. So I love it. I mean, that's what I always think about. Like a good fuzz should really kind of blossom under the fingers in the way that you're coming at it with the attack and touch. This one does that in spades. Let's just jack the gain up now, just because why not? Let's see what happens. I think I may have blown my preamp out. Let me pull the volume down a little bit. So yeah, man, this thing, wow. There's so many cool sounds in here. A good bit of sustain as well. I'll play a couple of little lead lines here on the neck pickup, and then we'll flip over and start using some of the diode. So now I'm going to go over, let's try out this first mode, which I think is symmetrical clipping. Excuse me. Let's go over to this first mode, which is asymmetrical clipping. On the far right side, it is symmetrical clipping. And I don't know which one of these has germanium diodes, but one of the two does. A lot of volume drop. Did you notice that? Let's check it out. A lot of volume drop. So those clipping diodes really compressing a lot, really kind of cutting a lot out of the end of the circuit here. So a lot more compressed under the fingers, a little bit fatter maybe? Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of fun, but definitely the volume drop you have to compensate. Sounds great though. Let's go to the normal clipping setting. All right, so the volume is definitely back. Let's pull that down a bit. A lot of fun. Listen, man, I can't choose. It's so hard to choose. I thought that the Awkward Mustache would be my number one. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. Tell us what you think in the comments. And in the meantime, I'm gonna load up the Smalls Fuzz and we'll check it out last but not least. Okay, and so now, Smalls Fuzz, pedal board friendly design. I'm gonna start out on this one just with everything at noon because man, I did it that way right out of the box and it just sounds amazing. I mean, basically every setting you can put on this thing sounds amazing. But we'll start out there. I'll play some of the same kind of riffs so you can kind of hear in comparison to the other two that I've been playing. Let's go. I don't know. I don't know how to choose. They're all so good. Man, this one is almost like what I like about both of the other previous pedals brought into one. I love the simplicity and the fact that you've only got 3 knobs. I mean, it's cool to have the switches, don't get me wrong. I love options, but man, like 3 knobs, gain, volume, tone. This is the way a fuzz pedal should be. It sounds great. And again, with this one, you can get some really great sort of low gain edge of breakup tone. So let's try that out really quick so you can. And you can hear how dynamic that is. Hopefully the compression through YouTube and everything else is not killing this magic. But golly, man, like the difference between just barely kind of touching the strings and digging in. There's a lot there on this low setting. So again, man, I mean, dude, John Anthony, man, hats freaking off on how versatile these things are. Like, I don't know that I've ever played a set of fuzz pedals that I really enjoyed with the gain low. You know what I mean? Like when I play a fuzz face, like it's just always cranked, or a big muff, but man, it's just really cool. Speaking of cranked, let's go there. So I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna turn the tone up just a hair to kind of compensate for the fact that it's gonna get a little woollier, and let's go. Volume back up. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. All right, let's go through the tone control sweep just to kind of show you everything that's going on here. Really mellow. You know what? And that's actually quite nice, even that low on the tone control setting. Typically it's mud. So definitely volume's kind of coming up with it. The mids are coming up with it. The sweep and the feel of it sort of feels similar to the Awkward Mustache. Maybe I'm just hearing stuff, I don't know. But has the same sort of feel. Like you're kind of like adjusting the mids in the top half of the sweep, and you're just basically mellowing it out on the bottom half of the sweep. But I would say almost every position on that tone control is usable, even in extreme settings, even all the way up. If you were really looking to cut through a mix, like at a solo, it would work. And then even all the way down on the control, just to get some really kind of mellow kind of bass tones. Sounds great. So yeah, and I don't know why, but like anytime I play a fuzz like this, I'm automatically gravitated to the Hendrix chord. Just because it sounds good. I don't know, man. This one's killer. They're all killer. I don't know. I'm going to play a couple more licks. We'll lead on the way out. And then seriously, tell us in the comments, like, what do you think about these? Is this your first time ever even hearing of Voltic? We would really love to know your thoughts. Again, we're all about supporting these independent builders. You know, John Anthony has just such a great story with being in the armed forces and then kind of coming out to do this as his passion. And we want to help promote him. So tell us what you think in the comments. And we certainly will pass that on with John Anthony. And remember, any of these that we've checked out today, you can get involved in borrowing through our plan. Some of these are on the Pro plan just because of their price points. Again, these are handmade devices, so they are a little bit more on the premium side. But you can start checking these out on our Pro plan, $39 a month. A lot of other pedals available at the $19 a month range from some of your favorite brands. So anyway, let's check them out. I'll play some outro riffs. Tell us what you think in the comments. All right, so thanks again for hanging out with us today. I hope that you learned something really cool about Voltic devices and their story. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. That's a way that we can make sure that we're helping other people find great content to discover wonderful brands like Voltic. So we appreciate all your support, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.